On the last couple of videos, we've been busy working on some content. As I was introducing you guys to Plain Canvas, we are basically building a car configurator. But on this activity from now on, I'm gonna now be introducing you to the augmented reality with Lens Studio. So the plain canvas part was quite crucial because it was introducing you guys on how to work with 3D. Now the second part is gonna introduce you on how to build augmented reality experiences. So both of them are quite important, and I would encourage you to always go back to the previous video so that you continue to learn and teach yourself on how to do that. So for us, before we start, I think before we start to the technical part of it, let's take some time to do the theoretical part of the stuff so that when you are developing this, you are able to understand what is what, instead of just developing. But at least you have some idea and your interest has been sparked somehow on what are these concepts so that you can eventually on your own time, which is one thing that I always encourage at your own time to go and research what are this topic, what do they mean by this couple of stuff, and continue to improve your own knowledge at your own time. So let's talk about, as I said, today we're gonna speak about augmented reality. We're gonna speak about augmented reality. Augmented reality. Basically, augmented reality is a cousin to virtual reality. But our focus, especially in terms of the content that we are creating, the virtual simulation content that we are creating for the school, we usually use the power of 3D, the one that you learned on Plain Canvas, and we also focus on augmented reality for its easy access to majority of learners' smartphones or the tablets that we provide at school. So this is quite important why we use it. But I can always ask you guys to check what is virtual reality, what is mixed reality, because they all come from they are actually called extended realities. When it's three of them, they're actually called uh, extended realities when it's all of them. So it's important for you to know these technologies. So let's talk about augmented reality. The first thing that you see, I always say for people in terms like this, just try to separate the weights for you to understand the weights separately. For instance, we got the weight that we already familiar with, which is reality, right? So define reality for yourself. What is reality, right? Define it for yourself. What do you mean by reality? You can use ChatGPT, you can use Cloud, or you can use your own brain to understand what is reality, you know? So, on the explanation that I've got in the past through the workshop, if people would say it's what you experience. It's what you experience currently. That's your reality. What you experience, right? And other people would be reality uh, is the truth. They would say is the truth. Is the truth. That's reality. I mean, all of this thing can be debatable. Other, they would say it is what it is. Refers to to reality being it is what it is. One tool. And I would also say, probably this, what I'm gonna say is gonna go back to the experience, but I would also say, at this point in time, when you're watching this video and you're hearing my voice and you're in a room and you're experiencing your room You could see the wind blowing up the curtain. You could see some background noise from your neighbors. You can hear the dog barking. You can hear people picking the dishes away and all this kind of stuff. You can hear the sound of my voice. At that point in time, when you're experiencing this becomes your reality. So, reality is what you experience. One told. That's my definition. Anything that is outside this, anything that I'm not seeing now currently, it cannot really be my reality. It's not my reality. My reality is what I see now. I'm alone in my room with my door open. There's air blowing there. The other door is also open because it's quite heated in Free State, you know. So I've got a glass of water with ice cubes on it, and yeah, I'm just sitting and making this video, looking at the screen in front of me, and that's my reality. Anything outside this, it's not my reality. You understand? So I would say reality, it's the current environment. If we use the current environment, the current environment, that would be the reality. Ne? But then let's talk about augment. Let's talk about augmented. Let's try to find synonyms for the meaning augmented, right? So, number one thing they would say, have been made greater in size or value, have been made greater in size or value, right? And then let's find another one. Okay. Synonyms. Let's check synonyms. Synonyms. Sharp, it's increasing, make stuff larger, make stuff bigger, make stuff greater. Eto, supplement, build up, enlarge, expand, extend, raise, multiply, elevate, swell. These are kind of words that the definition of augment actually means. You know, it means to enhance something. Maybe we could safely use this word, enhance something. We augment something, right? We make up something, right? We decorate something that is real, you know. So we echo something that we experience. So all these things they can now, like, if we have to compare this with the definition of reality, we can now learn that by augmented reality, we basically to enhance the current experience that you are having, right? Or to make up the current experience that you are having, or to add to the current experience that you are having. So I usually make an example that a simple example would be your room may not have flowers, but then you get paid, you're nice, you're like, yo, I need to get a pot plant. You go to the shop and you buy the pot from the nursery, you buy the pot plant, and you bring it back and you put it in your room. Somewhere, somehow, you have added to your room. It has increased the mood of your room. A painting in your room, it increases the mood of the room. You understand? So that's basically what augmented reality, in simple terms, without using technology, it means. It means just to make the current situation, enhance it in something that is way better than before. You understand? So it's basically just to remix and to whatever that you're experiencing there. So technologically, these guys, they're gonna say a lot of English. Me, I prefer to run away from this English. It says AR is an interactive technology that combines the real world with computer generated content to enhance the user experience. So now, if they use technologically, we basically say now we are using digital or computer generated content to enhance the surface around you. What does it mean? Like if you can check on this picture, we can put a digital couch in a room to see if how will that couch fit. We can use arrows on a physical environment to see how we can fix the machine, you know. We can do it in education where we can bring dinosaurs in front of learners to be able to learn and all this kind of stuff. That's it's the digital form of what augmented reality would mean. But then in going back to this, for us to understand what do we gonna need for augmented reality to work, right? So for augmented reality technically to work, it requires two things. Firstly, it requires the eyes, which is the camera of your smartphone, right? It requires that for it to be able to see the environment. So through the process of computer vision, great studies. You guys can study this thing, computer vision, and learn about computer vision and stuff like that. So through computer vision, we are able to allow a simple camera to look around the room and to be able to understand it. So for it to be able to understand it, we might need couple of stuff that will track. Uh, we're gonna need what we call a tracker, where our camera is gonna find its reference from what we call a tracker, right? So we have couple of trackers or targets. It could be targets. We got couple of targets, right? One of those targets is the face. Um, Depending on what software are we using, some software they do allow you to be able to track the face of a human being and to be able to overlay computer generated content on that face, right? And the second one is an image, right? It's an image tracker. So an image tracker would allow you or would allow your camera to track certain kinds of images that you have already provided to or that you have already trained that app to say track this kind of images for you to be able to overlay that content on top of that. You know, an example of face, you'd see it mostly in Instagram, where people are modifying their face or they're putting the dog ears on their face and all this kind of stuff. Or now they're making up their face with the Joker paint on their face, right? Image tracking, you would see it. We do have it here in Sana Tech where we use image tracking extensively. Let's see this video here. So you would see what actually happens is that we obtain the link, and after obtaining the link, we then scan that artwork to be able to place digital stuff on it. So that's what we refer as image tracking, right? That's what we refer as image tracking. Then we have what we call plane tracking. This one basically understand the walls and understand the floor, understand the tables, like all flat surfaces. It's able to track all flat surfaces and to actually be able to put objects on top of those flat surfaces. Do you understand that? So with all these things are what gonna make augmented reality possible. The camera and the image tracker. You understand? So the other part that we need to understand is that in terms of maybe let's stop this video and then we do that part of the theory on the second video where I can explain what I wanted to explain is the three different ways that augmented reality could be delivered to its users, right? So I'm gonna stop here so that you guys can be able to understand that augmented reality, it means enhancing the user's experience using content that is generated. And then for us to do augmented reality, we're gonna need a camera, a tracker, and this there are three types of trackers. There's a face tracker, image tracker, plane and wall tracker. And in other cases, we can expand. We have seen other people using the body trackers, the hand trackers to actually make this experience to be more exciting and stuff like that. So for us, in the meantime, I think mostly in our experiences that we're gonna create, we're gonna focus on the face tracker. But it's important for us to mention the other ones, and it's also important for us to introduce you guys to the face because it's an easy way to get started. Then from there, we do the image tracker, and then lastly, we don't use an image tracker and a plain wall tracker for our applications. For the reason being, this always requires the smartphones that are having necessary power to be able to run them. Smartphones such as your iPhones, your high-end Hawaii, your high-end Samsung, and all this kind of stuff. But this will cover more effectively on the next part of the video. I don't want to make this videos long. I just want you to be able to watch and move to the next video. Halala.